Want to know what I would do to grow a portfolio in real estate if I had absolutely no money? Here's exactly what I would do. If now I'm back years ago and I was in this position, actually when my husband first brought up the idea of purchasing our own home, not necessarily a rental property, but when he actually brought up the idea of wanting his own home, our own place, I actually was in that position where I had no money. And unfortunately, I didn't know all these different strategies that I now do, that I've gotten into investing and that I understand the investor side of the world. But if I were to do this as an investor, the first place that I would start would be on the phone. Okay. Every single one of us has a phone that has thousands of contacts in it, hundreds of contacts in it. I think they say on average, most Americans have about 500 contacts in their phone. Okay. First thing that I would do is I would find a way to download that list, print that out, and I'd start calling. And the reason I would be doing that was because if I didn't have any of my own money, I would start by looking for other people that I could use their money to be able to invest, right? So I would either be looking for a loan, I would be looking for somebody that had cash that they were sitting on that didn't necessarily want to be that active investor, but would be really happy with some returns. So that's the first place I would go. And I'm talking like through my entire phone list. I would start by probably even going through my Facebook list, going through those people, kind of reaching out, right? I am talking like what you're going to do if you were in a completely dire situation where you needed to be able to make money and make money sooner. I get it. When you are in a position where you want to invest, but you don't have money, you need to honestly have time. And you also have to be willing to do some things that are out of the box. I'm not saying this is the easiest. I'm not saying this is even the most comfortable to be able to do. Asking people for money and also asking people on your phone that maybe you haven't talked to in a while for money also can be really kind of daunting. Okay. We actually have an entire podcast episode all about how to do cold calls, how to reach out to people, regardless if you're looking for money or if you're looking to purchase their home. So if you've not seen that episode, go back and listen to our cold calling episode. Honestly, it was probably one of our best episodes and yet completely underrated because people these days do not want to just pick up the phone and then also ask for the thing that they need. But that's the place that I would start. I would go through, I would have probably a spreadsheet because I'm a spreadsheet nerd and I love them. And I would go through and see who I can talk to, who I was leaving messages for, who was available, who had something, but maybe this wasn't the right time. All those people I'd probably put into different buckets. I'd also do the same thing, like I said, with my Facebook people. I would start to figure out phone numbers. I would start to be able to get them to the phone. You can even call through Facebook Messenger, but I would be getting in contact with people, seeing what they had, seeing what they were looking for. To me, when you're looking for people to loan money, usually you want to see what they want back. What is an interest rate that they're looking for? What is a payment schedule that they want? And it's always better with negotiations to have the other person let you know what they are looking for. So I would start there. And honestly, even if I kept going through people, even when I got to a place where then I was making my own money in real estate, I would probably keep using other people's money to be able to fund some of those deals, right? I feel like a lot of relationships could be built there. A lot of conversations can be had, but that is the complete first place that I would be starting within that. Then I also would want to make sure that I am networking with other people. I want to continue to grow what my audience would then look like. So let's say, for example, I'm going through my list of contacts in my phone book, and now I've either exhausted it or somebody that I'm talking to is like, oh, actually, unfortunately, Becky, not really right for me, something I can't really help with. I don't have the money right now. I just had my own big purchase, whatever it may be. One of the questions that I always ask is, do you know anybody that might be interested in something like this? And what that does is that's now tapping into the 500 contacts in that other person's phone. So now instead of just saying, great, you have 500 contacts, you had one person that said no to you, now you have 499, by actually then asking that one person that said no, hey, who do you know? Can you give me 5 names and 5 numbers of people that you think might be interested? Now actually that one no just turned into really your 5 possibilities, right? Now you're back up to 504 people, 503 people. So that to me would be how I'd continue to grow that. I also still would be hanging around and meeting and really networking with other people in real estate investing. That might be a great way to find some type of work within the industry that's going to help you. One thing there, maybe you find a investor that can really use some help, that can kind of take you under their wing and they'll pay you some money. Maybe there's something that you could do for them to help bring a deal to the table and get paid for things there. Maybe that's something that you say, hey, I could pick up a gig here or there that can make a couple bucks, and at least you're still in real estate. At least you're still in this space and you're networking with people. You're finding other people that you can see if they can then lend you money. But it would be really those relationships and getting out there and increasing how many contacts you actually have from that space. The third thing that I would do is I'd go knock on doors, right? We are talking about if we have no money, we are in no place to actually be able to start growing that portfolio, but this is something that we know is right for us and we want to move forward. We have to be able to get out of our comfort zone. We have to be willing to do things differently, right? I can't tell you how often I talk to lady landlords that are saying, oh, well, I have no money right now. I need to get out of this debt. I need to get out of that debt. Oh, but I still want to do this in real estate. Oh, I still want to buy that first property. I still want to buy that next property. I still want to fix this one up, whatever it may be. But, oh, my credit just needs to be a little bit higher because I need to pay my bill off better. Or I just need a little more money saved. Or I just need to get my DTI fixed a little bit more. Or I just need to pay down that debt. Great. But one of what's probably not going to happen, sitting there at your 9 to 5, living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, like you've already been doing, is not all of a sudden going to completely change the place that you're going to want to be in. If you weren't able to save, if you weren't able to pay off that debt previously, well, you're probably not going to be in a position to get a lot of headway in there. And that's not going to be different in the future if it's not different now. So to me, that's then where I would get out there and be like, cool, where can I door knock? What numbers can I be calling? What area do I really want to target to find somebody whose either house does need rehab, that they're looking to sell, that they want to get out of that situation? And honestly, I'd probably wholesale it. If I hadn't found the monies that I needed to borrow, right? When we talk about borrowing money too, that would be something if I was just doing a loan, I could still take smaller pieces from other places to really be able to say, hey, let me take this loan and that's how I'm going to purchase that property. But I would then go out and as I'm looking for properties on one side and I'm looking for money on the other side, well, hell, if I found the property first, I would just move forward with that. Then I would be able to go back to the people that I met in that second bucket, right? As I'm networking, as I'm meeting other people in the industry, and be able to go back and say like, hey, Beth, I actually found a property that you were looking for. I'll take my wholesaling fee. I'll take my finder's fee, sell you the house. And then now all of a sudden I have more money. I now can actually have a lump sum that I can then put towards my own property. Maybe then that way I can couple that with the people that I'm talking to that are willing to lend me money. Maybe I'm not going to be able to get a person that's going to lend me a certain amount of money that's going to completely cover a purchase or a purchase in cash or anything like that. But now all of a sudden, if I made 15 grand on an assignment fee and I found another person that's going to give me 10 grand, well, there you go. I can buy real estate. I could buy real estate. I could buy a property, maybe not necessarily in my New York City market, but I can absolutely buy in a different market. And that's going to get that ball rolling. And that's going to start that process. So for all of you that are saying out there, hey, I want to get started in this, but I just don't have the money to do it. I'm telling you, there are ways to do this. This actually is a question I would probably ask every successful real estate investor. Hey, if you had no money, how would you start a portfolio? This is just what I would personally do. That's the way that I would go. But I bet if you asked other real estate investors, they would all come up with a completely different way. So thinking about this now, one of the things that I'm going to do is I am going to actually make a post in Lady Landlords asking the 50,000 women that we have in that Facebook community what they would do. And let's get you some more ideas. All right. So I'd love list down in the show notes if any of these action items were going to work for you or what item you chose to pick to get you moving forward. So that way you can get your rental property, even with no money out of pocket. Okay. I'd love to see what your ideas are here. But if you're not in the Lady Landlords Facebook group, I highly recommend you go over, join the other 50,000 women that are there and see what other strategies they have for how to pick up and start a portfolio with absolutely no money out of pocket. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode of the Lady Landlords Podcast. Please do make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next episode of the Lady Landlords Podcast. We release new episodes every single Tuesday. Thanks so much, and I will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to the Lady Landlords Podcast. If you're feeling stuck in your real estate investing journey, visit lady-landlords.com to book a 15-minute orientation call with me and see if you're ready to join our mentorship program. Or you can subscribe to our newsletter and join our Facebook group for exclusive real estate investing tips and offers. Invest with confidence. Become a Lady Landlord today.